Hello, and welcome to the best postured podcast on the internet, Unqualified Game Chat. Oh, ooh, that feels kind of good. I've been sitting down too long. I am your host, Azara Lopez, and with me today is my brother from multiple mothers,
I'm a test
Spencer,
tube baby.
the legacy.
Hello, everybody. A couple weeks. We've been some busy fellas.
Ooh, talk about busy. You know what's my problem about being busy is that I prefer it because the moment you let me be lazy, ooh, I'll
Yeah,
fucking take it, dude.
that would
Oh,
be falling off that wagon feels good.
oh my God. Yes, I'll just watch TV all day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? There's something at the top of the show that I need to talk about. John Cena's retirement.
I don't know anything about wrestling, so I don't know what is
Well,
that big?
uh, it's history. It's you know, I've just recently got back into wrestling after a little bit because they put it on Netflix, so Raw's on Netflix now. That's it's it was fun to see John Cena's final arc after like only really watching him early in his career,
Mm.
but just his respect for the show, and just like him like being kind of older and putting his full like effort out there, round of applause.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Round of
He's also a good
applause.
actor. He's a pretty good actor. Yeah, as far as the
He's
wrestler
very
gone, actor's gone, it's pretty good.
he's very transparent and about like how he's entered the industry and the mistakes he's made so that others don't follow suit. And I appreciate that
Yeah,
because even in our industry, there's a lot of people that won't um share knowledge or like
yeah.
give you the time of the day, even if they think
Like the
that you're
truest definition of gatekeeping, where
right,
it's like nobody passes, and it's like,
right.
who's that help? Who does that
Well,
doesn't help anybody.
yeah, I mean, because you could see it a couple ways. You could see us all as competitors,
Mhm,
which we kind of are,
mhm.
or you can take that competitive spirit and spread it amongst your colleagues to uplift them, be like, "Hey, I did this really cool thing." And then you have someone else say, "Dude, that is a cool thing. I can't wait to do a cooler thing." And it's just like that
Yeah,
that
showing
sounds like,
rivalry.
yeah, like we
Rivalry
are
is better than
all
competition, I think.
I think so too. I think we need more of that because the moment that you show any type of disdain or like competitive spirit online, everyone just like thinks you're hating on the person. And it's like, no, like you've got me excited to do
Mhm.
more. Like I I don't know. And I say that I understand that not a lot of people work that way. Like in terms of like when I'm giving feedback to people, I give it to them pretty hard. And I expect them to be like, "No, fuck Azario. I'm gonna show
Prove
him,
him wrong,
like,
yeah,
prove him wrong." And
yeah.
over the years, I've found out that's how I work and not necessarily how others
Yeah,
work.
it is there's a balance. 'Cause some people, like, come in for, like, "Hey, just do your thing, do your best, like, we're cheering for you," and they're like, "Yeah," and some people love to, like, prove them wrong. It really is, like,
Yeah.
dependent on, and some people love just being like, "Hey, I'm not even gonna, like, interfere. I know you can just go do your thing, and I won't bug you," and they love that too. So,
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm. So
it's all
I've been
people dependent.
reading some managerial books. I'm not a good manager.
Oh, don't
I'm
say
not a
that.
good I'm not good at time management. I'm not good at,
You are
triaging.
absolutely good at time management. What are you talking about? You have a
Oh, no, I'm
full-time
not,
job, you have
dude.
noisy you fucking you
Oh,
run 40 miles every day.
oh my God. But that's like things that I've worked on over that's like me now, but like
Hmm,
those are things that I've implemented into my life once I found out I struggle with ADHD kind of, and it's like
mhm,
the first thing's like you gotta keep on schedule. But the
me.
problem is at the moment I break that schedule, dude, like my like whole world kind of crashes. I am physically and like you can see it on my face, like, "What's wrong with you, Azario?" And what's on my mind is, fuck, I forgot to run yesterday. Like, I need to run today. If I don't, then the whole world, like
Yeah,
I've
I'm the
had to
same way.
yeah, so it's like now I'm at a point in my life where I'm even able to forgive myself for that. Like, "Oh, you only wanted to run 3 miles instead of 6 miles today? That's fine." Like,
Mhm,
don't don't worry about it, Azara. Like, it life moves on, and that's something that really, like, this year alone, maybe in the last 6 months, I've really gotten good at, and
mhm.
I'm impressing myself with the amount of work that I've been able to get done while getting better at creating a schedule
Oh, yeah.
and making it loose. Like, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I'm so fucking like I for years, even with Noisy Pixel, even with like everything in my job, it's like if it breaks what it looks like in my mind, if something else happens, I like kind of freak out, man. I get angry, I get a little frustrated. It's like,
Yeah, 'cause
no,
you're like,
this
"This
is
isn't a
how
routine."
right, right. It's
Mhm,
like, oh, okay, a good example, so for the listeners too, anybody who wants some behind the scenes. There was a time when Noisy Pixel launched, I put on okay, so Noisy Pixel launched in 2018. Before COVID, the game industry was still located in LA, San Francisco, and New York.
mm,
No, the game industry was nowhere else at
mhm.
this point. You might find some remote workers or game informers in whatever they're in. They're in some uh place. But anyway, so I was living in Oakland at the time, which is basically the Bay Area in San Francisco. And so on Noisy Pixels like Twitter, it shows that we're from Oakland. Well, by design, it was to tell publishers like Ubisoft and Nintendo and the publishers that are there in San Francisco, like, hey, we don't have to pay for these people to come to our press events. We don't have to buy their lodging. We don't have to pay for their
Mhm.
airfare. They're already here. Like, they're just free coverage at this point. So
Yeah.
that's how what we used to kinda get into these events. So Brad and I and Brian Lee we'd just separate them. We'd all go to these, Bay Area events. Um, and, 2 years after that, I moved back because COVID hit in 2020, and I moved back to Fresno. Well, when PAX there was, like, a final there was when the PAX was coming back, like in 2022 or something, or 23, I forgot what that first PAX was after COVID.
Yeah.
Um, the PAX, in Seattle, PAX West was completely empty. We saw everything in like
I
30
remember
minutes.
that. Yeah, you sent me
Yeah,
videos and shit, and it was like a ghost
empty,
town. Yeah.
empty. And so we decided to like film like a Noisy Pixel, like 4th anniversary or something video. And I remember Mark like showing a lot of Seattle, like B-roll and stuff. And I had almost like the strangest meltdown where I was so scared about people figuring out that we weren't from Oakland.
Mhm.
And in my head, I was creating these scenarios where no, if they think we're from anywhere else, they're not going to invite us to anything. They're not
Yeah.
going to like reach out to us. We have to retain the sense of disbelief, the sense like Noisy Pixel is in Oakland, they're centrally located, but what I needed to understand is that I had created all of that in my head.
Yeah,
Nobody
just
put
catastrophizing. Yeah.
yeah, nobody put those boundaries on me, and it like that's like the best example I can give of like me of something not going my way and me just completely like
Straight
frustrated.
panic mode. Yeah.
Trying to, like, justify it too, trying to, like, explain my intentions to Mark, and he's just like and Mark is totally timid guy, which is how we work, like, I'm very excitable, very almost impulsive. Mark is very quiet, very,
Mhm.
planned. Um, we're both down to do shit, but,
Yeah.
like, different personalities, and he just kinda looked at me and was just like, "Dude, I I don't think it matters." And I'm just like, "What the fuck? It does matter. What are you talking?" And I heard myself like getting and I took a breath and we talked about it, but I don't like the way that I handled that situation. And I can say like, I think a week or something passed, and I brought it back up to Mark, and I was like, "Hey, man, I don't like how I handled that. I'm never gonna do that again." And I haven't acted like that again, that bad. But
Mm.
it's taken me, that was, like, in 2022, but it has taken me, like, multiple years to improve that type of business owning and thinking and, like, I don't know, this fake it till you make it attitude really consumed me to where I felt so required to lie
Mm.
to the industry to create this false ego, and looking back and even saying it out loud, that is a lot of what I did in my early 20s where I was poor, I had nothing, I was riding a bike, but to all of these people around me that I would meet, I was Azario. I was just
Yeah.
this loud, boisterous, like, "I have everything, nothing can hurt me," like,
Yeah.
but it really fucked up my brain. Like,
Mhm.
so I have an ego, but I have nothing to back that ego, Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, I think
Now you're
now
in a
I'm in
healthy
this.
spot where you have, like, an
Oh,
equal. Yeah.
yes. Yeah, it's taken years though. So I did not need to do that with Noisy Pixel, and I'm very much happier where I am now. Sorry
See,
for that
that's why
rant. I
we
didn't.
we get along so well, is I've always been the opposite, where, like, I'm
Mm,
I'm capable of doing things, and I'm, like, very persistent in doing things, like, make sure I get them done, but I have, like, no confidence whatsoever. So,
mm,
I'd be like, I can't do it." My friends would be like, "You can 100%, like, you can do that very well." I'd be like, "No, it's not gonna work out, it's gonna fail, it's gonna go horribly, and that's gonna be really embarrassing, and it's gonna be a disaster, and it's gonna suck." So it's yeah, so we balance each other out.
yeah, because if I put something out back then and only 30 people saw it, I got pretty mad.
Yeah.
I got pretty, like, upset,
Mhm.
and now I'm definitely in a much better place. Maybe it's because of the success that we've had, but I think even, how you're never going to have control over how everybody perceives you.
Mhm.
You're never go and it's taken me so long to realize that, if you have a meltdown in front of someone and someone and they judge you based on um, that little
Yeah, that
meltdown,
moment, yeah.
that moment, I don't think that people should be judged at their by their worst moments
Mhm.
if they're frustrated or something, because most of the time they're just projecting. Most of the time, so it's something else that happened and they're putting it on this situation. So I've gotten really good at forgiving, but I do want to put out there, like, other people should be good at forgiving as well. Be open to if your friends make, like, say something out of pocket or something, just talk to them. Like, they're still the same people that they were, but, like, maybe they didn't know that that joke wasn't fly around you. Maybe they didn't know XYZ, but you know when to cut off people, but also, like, know when to be like,
Don't, like,
okay,
immediately, unless it's a
right,
pattern, yeah, don't I mean? Because that's
right,
also
right,
how people grow. Like,
right,
being told,
right.
like, "Hey, that wasn't great," or, like, I wouldn't have done that because of this." Then people are like, "Oh, okay, I will." I mean, a lot of people will be like, "Okay, I'm going to think about that," and then change how they're thinking or whatever. Obviously, some people will be like, "No, fuck you, I'll do whatever I want." And
Mhm.
then maybe, yeah, be like,
Yeah,
"Okay,
but
well." Yeah, at least
I
then you know.
yeah, it's a growing process with me, but, like, a good example of, like, me being a little more confident and in, like, social situations where I went to a store and, like, I was buying some used games, and the girl, like, was talking about one of the games, and I was, like, talking about the game, the girl that was, selling me the game, the
Mhm.
cashier person, and I started talking about it. And she just started while I was talking, she, like, picked up her phone and started, like, texting me. I was like, "Oh, okay, so I should just shut the fuck up then, I get it." Or something like that, like, "Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, okay, you're done listening." And, like, she looked up and, like, I didn't care that I created that situation,
Mhm.
I didn't care that, like, I was outspoken in that. I think I'm very much glad I did, like, because before I would just keep talking and just, like, let it go. That I'm so much more confident in, like, my words and, like, my presence and, like, respect and mutual respect and, like, making jokes and, like, so that how that conversation ended was she just laughed and said, "Oh, sorry, I just get distracted easily." And I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." And, like, we just kept
Mhm.
talking after that.
Yeah.
But, like, the way I delivered it and stuff, and it's just like okay, so I have a skill where I can, like, at least let people know how I'm feeling when I feel it, you know, and I
That's
guess
an
getting
important skill
better.
to have.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, guys, podcast listeners, I'm 36. So don't push yourself to have it all figured out, but always be open to learn and get better and improve yourself. I I can't explain, um you might lose some friends because of it. You might change groups altogether, but I will
Mhm.
say that, like, figuring yourself out and who you are, getting out of, like, circles that you've been in since you were 20, 16, whatever, like, push yourself. Always push
Yeah.
yourself.
I think
Always.
striving for self-improvement and growth is, like, the most satisfying thing you can do about being alive is, like,
Mhm.
just consistently trying to grow and be better at stuff and, like, whether it's being, like, stronger or being smarter or, like, kinder, whatever.
Right.
I think that pursuing personal growth is a very exciting part of being alive. I think
Yeah.
there's no more noble
Spencer and I
pursuit.
are in, like, this, like, workout mode, but
Yeah.
and I was explaining to him that, I've been stretching a lot lately, and I love finding stretches that I can't do so that I can
Mm.
work towards them and, like, do
Yeah.
the stretches to get to those stretches. So that's, like, a good example of, like, okay, I'm not nice. I'm not good at saying hi to people. Well, I'll practice saying hi to people all the
Yeah.
time, like, just
Exposure therapy.
nodding to them in public at Walmart and smiling and, like, stuff like that, like, push yourself, make yourself uncomfortable, like,
Yeah, that's
everything
important.
every yeah, everything you do for yourself will always be a skill that you can pull out from later.
Mhm. And, like, don't be especially with, like, socializing, is never be
Mm,
like, "Oh, that's not I can't succeed in that, so there's no point." Like, I was a socially anxious wreck for, like, most of teenage years till, like, a couple years ago, and, like, truly the only thing that improved it, it was, like, doing it even though it sucked. It was being, like,
mm,
talking to people, like, going out of your way to be around people and talk to them, and, like, basically no matter, like, how excruciating it is, the exposure therapy aspect, yeah, being, like, making friends, talking to people that you wouldn't necessarily talk to, like, in public or whatever, or, like, just even as simple as, like you said, like, saying hello, doing the nod, doing whatever, is, like, that's how you get out of that
mhm.
100%, so I totally know what you mean.
Anyway, this podcast is recorded every week,
Mhm.
hopefully, and posted to, podcast services on Thursdays. We have if you subscribe to our Patreon, you get it a week early before everyone else does, so please check that out. We also have a digital magazine on our Patreon that's for free for all Patreon subscribers, so you don't even have to, pay for that, just subscribe. I went to the Game Awards, which
Yeah,
which is which is relatable to what we opened the show with, because I had to use a lot of those social skills at this fucking jerk off fest of a fucking.
you ever see that Connor O'Malley YouTube skit called Slugs, where
Mm.
he's standing in a mall, and he's, like, filming everyone walking around, he's like, "They're all fucking slugs. They'd pay to eat fucking poison I wouldn't touch. I'm so fucking smart. They're all goddamn slugs." That's you should have done that
That's
there, that would've been
oh my
fun.
god. Dude,
Yeah,
I feel like Mark and I went to Santa Monica. Mark came with me to the Game Awards, and we went to, like, the pier, and there's, like, these bathrooms and this
yeah.
pier that look like, they look like a pig farm almost, like the
Ugh,
doors of this, like a
yeah.
long aisle of doors, and, like, multiple rows of just doors and bathrooms, and, like, they're almost like permanent porta potty looking kinda things, and
Weird, yeah.
I was like, "Dude, all those people lined up to go to the bathroom look like little fucking pigs.
Little
They look like
piggies
little
going to the damn
piggies
trough.
ready to go fucking eat, like, look at them all
Yeah.
lined up outside of the, like." So, maybe I'm, maybe
You
I'm
got some
too,
O'Malley in you.
yeah. Uh, but, yeah, so Game Awards, it was okay, so we had meetings. We did not go to the Game Awards proper. We did not go to the actual awards. I did go to a watch party with, um, all your favorite industry writers that you might know. and it was a little demoralizing. There was open bar, but Mark and I were like the only people watching the award show,
Everyone else was there for the
and
open bar.
I don't know, but I turn around and I have pictures too, I'll show you, of just me and Mark watching and everyone else just talking in, like, their little groups behind us in this, like, bar that was, rented out for this, like, part of the bar that was rented out by a PR agency.
Mm.
We were gonna watch it in the hotel, and then we got invited to this because we were at an IO Interactive event, and with that said, I'm just gonna stitch on the end of this podcast, this, interview that I did with an IO Interactive, producer for the 007 game, and I'm only gonna put it here because they're not really saying shit about that game, but it is an interesting conversation about the game, so please stick around to the end if you wanna hear it. For the YouTube version, I'll put a little chapter that you can skip to the end there.
Hell yeah.
Um, but, oh, dude. Okay, now that I'm talking about that, sorry, my ADHD fucking brain. So, let's instead start the first day we go to an event and play some games and, there's like a dinner. You will know what game we played after, like, January 5th or something. Also, Mark and I are going to put up a vlog, so you can kind of so things I'm talking to right now, go in the future in a couple weeks, check out that video to, like, see what we did all the time.
Mhm.
We tried to vlog as much as possible to give you a good idea of what was going down over there. Um, so the first night we go to an embargoed press event, and it was nice. It was, like, 4 hours long. Um It was fun to see everyone. Again, though, like, it's a lot of, like, ego stroking. It's a lot of, like, you can see people I don't know. Mark and I mostly talked together. Like, we sat at a really cool table with some people, and, the editor, guides editor, I think, Wes from PC Gamer, I talked to him for a while about, this feature that I had put out earlier this week, Monday, on long games, their game Convaleria and Sony. It is a huge investigative piece that I put out. It took about a month of like back and forth interviews with this with the Chinese developer who's working on
Yeah.
Sony Hero Project or China Hero Project. Sorry. It got picked up by a few media people, but I was kind of disappointed by the lack of aware again, readers and listeners, I don't think Noisy Pixel gets the ups that we should
Mm.
from, like, other industry like, we got, like, teams like Monster Vine and, fuck, teams like, I think there's some people at Siliconera that I like. There's some people all over, like, Sporadic that I like, but I think the core
Yeah.
team as for a core team of everyone I like, I think us and Monster Vine are, like, the only, like I like everyone at
Yeah.
this, like, I think they're all good. Um, yeah, a lot of those other people don't like us.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why. It might just be me. I don't know, but I see them all on Blue Sky and Twitter, like, anytime, like, they'll write something and stuff, and they'll and I'm talking about, like, other writers and freelancers, they'll all boost the other
Yeah.
writer up and like, "Oh, you have to read this person, hire this person, blah, blah, blah."
Very
And it's like,
sneaky.
"Guys, yeah, guys, I did, like, this really cool, like, piece, you know, like, no one shared it." If I
Mhm.
The emails I got were not from other writers, they're from gamers and developers.
Yeah.
Some content creators picked it up and, like, made some stories on it and even asked me some follow-up questions. Insider Gamer put out an article on it, and they didn't email me or anything. They didn't, I wish that they did, to be honest. That would be the real reporter thing to do is, like,
Mhm.
okay, so, like, I know the guys there, like, all they kinda did was just report what I reported on, and if that's the idea, sure, but, like, you're not doing any checks to verify that the source is true. You're just accepting
Yeah.
my article. Like, you didn't come to me to be like, "Hey, what are your" even behind the scenes, even through email, like, off the table stuff. No one came up to me to verify the sources. They just kind of ran the articles, which already tells you like no one really fucking cares, you know? Like
Oh, it's all like
we're all t-
like they're like, oh,
yeah,
there's no time to do that. Just run it. Yeah. Well, that
yeah,
also
but
means
I
that you're a trustworthy enough source that
right,
some
right.
websites don't. Yeah.
Right, and also the way that they reported, I will say, was perfect in terms of just reporting what I reported on. Like, they didn't add
Yeah.
anything or do anything, but and they're not necessarily the couple websites that covered it aren't the type of websites that should, but I would have expected, like, I don't know, like, some of the bigger the Inverses and those people, the Polygons to like, "Hey, who's your source for this? Because we wanna cover it, like, or we want to,
Yeah.
dig a little deeper." Like, no one cared, and whatever. It's not my place to care. I did the report because I saw a developer was not getting paid for months. They showed me I got to see their chat logs, their emails. It was fine. It was like, okay, like, I can't deny that, that this is valid. It was fun to put together too, I will say. It was different for me, um,
Uh-huh.
but so, okay, I talked to Wes about that. So then next day, we go the Game Awards day, we go to an IO Interactive event, and no other but Mila Jovovich is
Wow.
there. So she goes on stage,
Yeah.
and I'm freaking out, and this is just like a little, like there's like 20, 30 people here,
Oh.
and they won't let us talk to them or anything, but, she goes on stage during this IO Interactive, like, event that I didn't know I was being a part of, but I guess I was by being there.
Oh.
Um, she, so she was telling some jokes, and no one was fucking laughing. I've
Oh,
been there.
no.
So I
Yeah.
laughed. I was laughing, you know? I was laughing at the
Yeah.
jokes because they were funny. No pity laughs, nothing like that. But after a while, she started looking to Mark and I every time she told the joke to make sure
Whoa.
that
Yeah.
we landed, and then I whispered to Mark, and I was like, "She doesn't know that I masturbated to her when I was 12."
Oh my god. Oh, heavens. Can't be saying that.
I had the
Oh
VHS of
my god.
Resident Evil, the movie, and I put it in my VHS, and I paused it right when she got out of the shower, and I would, like, still fast
Oh
forward,
my
so
god.
frame by frame, little 12-year-old Zawio.
Oh, heavens.
I got the
Oh my
the the
god.
the lines, the tracking lines on the VHS
Tracking. Oh
all
my god.
CRT TV, dude.
Oh, it was rough back then. It was rough
Desperate
back
times.
then.
Desperate
Yeah.
times back then, guys.
Mhm,
Desperate
mhm,
times. I didn't have internet. It was no computer. My dad had some Playboys, but to get them, you would have to, like, go into his closet and, like, move the clothes perfectly, you know, and
mhm.
I didn't have time probably for this, but
Yeah.
time, but that's my Mila Jovovich story, and
I'm
and
sure
then Lenny
her team's gonna love hearing that. They're
yeah,
big fans
and
of our
then Lenny
podcast, yeah.
Kravitz and then Lenny Kravitz came out, and I whispered to Mark I masturbated to him when I was 13.
That's a good follow-up.
"American woman,
That's a good
stay
follow-up
away
bit.
from me."
That's a good cover. You've been you,
Yeah.
I can see why you thrive at karaoke. Look at
Yeah,
that.
yeah, dude, yeah. I don't know any other Lenny Kravitz songs off the top of my head. Um,
I want to get away. I know
yeah,
that
I
one.
wanna get
I
away.
know that one. That's the
I
only one I know.
wanna
Fly
um
away.
fly away. But it was a fun event, and then after that was the watch party. Um, Again, Mark and I were the only fucking people watching, and sometimes I would yell stuff out and be like, "Ace Combat," you know, and, like, everyone would kinda look.
Yeah.
I was drinking too, but
Trying to get
great
the crowd
event.
into it. Yeah.
I was there because I was told, "Hey, come watch it. There's a lot of energy in the room, and it's good to watch it with people and be in the crowd." Because usually I'll just go back to the hotel and not really hang out with these people, but,
Mhm.
I was invited, I didn't crash it, and, uh, yeah, it was different. Well, here, okay, so I own Noisy Pixel. Like, I'm not a freelancer, I don't need to make these connections and stuff and, like, Like, I get the grind, they're just
Yeah.
always grinding, and so I'm not gonna write them off for that,
Mm.
I don't
It's a
need to
rough
pitch to
life,
people.
tough.
Yeah, I don't and so they're using their time probably very wisely,
Mhm.
whereas am I'm just enjoying a show
Yeah.
and, clapping when, something fun happens.
Mhm.
Like Cody Rhodes going on stage, like, I thought that was cool, and, like, they got the whole cast of Street Fighter up there, like, I thought that was all pretty cool.
Mhm.
Um, the event itself sucked.
Yeah.
The Game Awards, how did you feel about it, the award
There
show?
was nothing like, the new Knights of the Republic is, like, cool, but that's not anytime soon, and also,
Right,
where's the remake that was happening? Like,
right.
it's very yeah, and, like, there was the occasional small thing where I'd be like, "Oh, nice," but, like, there was no like, "Holy shit, crazy." There was nothing like that. There was no, like,
You know what the
screaming
Game
into
Awards
the
really needs to do? I Am 8-Bit and, Double Fine have an initiative. I think they bring it to PAX, and I know they bring it to, like, GDC and Summer Games Fest,
Mhm.
where the indie developers that appear there don't pay anything.
Mhm.
Like, I think the Game Awards should be better at highlighting projects that are maybe going under the radar, and yes, maybe they'll go through a submission process and you only 10 will or 15 or something will be chosen,
Yeah.
but, the developer doesn't pay. And sure, Jeff, maybe that'll cut into $1,000,000 that you might otherwise sell to Hoyoverse, but
Yeah.
you've gotta help the game industry.
Yeah.
If you gotta, like you
You
gotta,
have a
like,
lot
give to
of power, so you have to have a lot of responsibility.
'cause that whole show was just so sponsored, man.
Yeah. Oh,
It just
100%.
a lot of Bandai announcements, a lot of Capcom, like, nothing like I don't know. I don't know.
It's gone
It's,
close. Sell out. They sold out.
well, that's I mean,
Implying that that didn't happen years ago. The
Since
Chic
the Schick
Hydro
Man
Man.
yeah,
Yeah.
the Hydro Man, I think we've all known what
Every year
this,
I look for him again. Every year.
I will bring him back, really.
Bring him back.
I need the campiness back. Like,
Yeah. All we got's the Muppets, and that's not enough. We need more.
even the Muppets, dude, like, you're taking so much screen time, like, that's also an issue. It's you gotta remember the length of it, but why not make the pre-show dedicated to just indies or something? Then you're
Yeah.
not cutting into your actual event, like, I don't know. You have to invest in the game industry. You can't just take from it. You gotta invest in it too. And if and I get what Jeff is trying to do, and he's probably changing something on the corporate end, but I don't think this is affecting the industry much. I say that knowing that
No.
Claire Obscure sold a shit ton of copies after the Game
Oh, I'm sure
Awards,
it
so
did, yeah.
yeah, it helps people out. But I don't think it's gonna help
The
the
people that need
next
help
year's
the
set of
most.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think Resident Evil Requiem needs another trailer, to be honest with you.
Yeah. At the Game
Like,
Awards. Yeah.
what is that gonna do? Like, remind us? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
I think the lack
I
of
don't know, Nick.
E3 is built, where it's like
Right.
E3 has just kind of been spread into Game Awards, Fiji, or Summer Games
Games
Fest. It's like
Fest.
everything's become a kinda little bit E3-ish instead of having the one thing where it's like, "Okay, this is where all the announcements happen, and then everything else can be anything else." It's like, no, now everything has to be a little E3-ish, so it's weird. Yeah.
Did you enjoy the game of the year, and do you think it's Clair Obscur?
I love Clair Obscur.
Game of the year.
It's not my game of the year is Digimon probably because 'cause I'm me, but, like, I love I loved Clair Obscur. I think it's a great game. I think the performances were excellent. I think they did a lot with a little. None of my issues with Clair Obscur are with the game or the developers. It's entirely with the fans who are like, "RPGs are back," and it's like, they
We're so
literally
back.
they
We're
literally
so
never left.
back.
Yeah, it's like, literally, this is, like, that's very, like a lot of annoying people use the term now, but that is very, like, touristy of, like, "Oh, It's like that meme where I forget who said it, but they were like, "Oh, there was Mario and then The Last of Us," where it's like jumping on turtles, now there's huge it's like, no, there's a lot of games came between. It's the same where people are like, "Yeah, RPGs have been dead forever, now it's back." It's like, what? Fucking
What are you
even if
talking
you're, like,
about?
only going by huge shit, there's been, like, multiple Persona 5s. There's, like there's all sorts of shit every year. It's yeah, so the people who are like, "This is how RPG should be," it's annoying because I get a weird vibe from those people where it's like, they're the people who any, like, Japanese RPG, they're like, "Oh, that's weird in anime," and it's like, that's an
Mhm.
insane thing to say in 2025. Like, what? What? Like, just because you're embarrassed that, like, that character wears a bikini, that doesn't mean that entire game is fucking not a valid RPG experience. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, so I think the people who are too embarrassed to, like, enjoy things that aren't, like, Sony-esque, like,
Over the top
over the
anime,
top
yeah.
yeah, people who are too embarrassed to enjoy, like, over the top, like, more anime, Japanese sort of aesthetics and writing, they're like, "No, this is prestige." It's like people who are like, "I only like prestige elevated horror, like Hereditary and stuff." It's like, "No, those are good, but, like, also, like, dumb horror rocks." Like, it's
Right.
great to watch slashers and shit. So
Yeah.
it feels like that, where they're like, "Oh, I don't like Xenoblade, and I don't like Final Fantasy anymore. I only like Claire Obscure," and it's like, fuck off, dude. Like,
There's a lot of people out there. I know. So at this watch party when Claire Obscure, I maybe a little drunkenly to the table next to me, I said, "You guys, Claire Obscure, uh, not game of the year." I was like, "With that menu design gets you game of the year? Fuck you. Fuck you."
I do like the idea of the like, drunk Azario complaining about menu
Oh,
design and
dude,
people being like,
I was like, it took me 13 hours to realize that Picross was even a thing or
"Oh,
Picross,
yeah.
whatever that was,
Take those,
because you
yeah."
have to so when you pull up the menu, you have to press right like 3 times to get to this weird ass little button that they just JPEG'd onto this fucking shitty ass menu with this black screen in the background. And then
Mhm.
you're in this like Picross thing. You're like, what the fuck is this? Fuck that game.
I don't
No, no,
okay,
wait.
I'm not
Hold on, wait,
okay, okay,
wait,
let's
okay, okay, okay,
simmer
okay.
down a bit.
I went a
This is
little
a great game.
I got a
Yeah.
little excited.
Got a
I got a little
little out of
excited.
hand.
Don't
Go
fuck
ahead.
the game. Don't fuck the game.
Fuck the annoying
But
people.
I will say not game of the year. I will
Yeah.
say I
Everyone's
will
entitled
say
to their year.
I will say game of the year. Okay, game of the year if you're talking about the biggest surprise of the year. Claire Obscure
Mhm.
was a great surprise, but in that same breath, so was Stellar Blade. You know? Like, if that's why how you're judging games about their surprise and, like, their sales and how they came out of nowhere and, like, Stellar Blade did the same thing, the year before, you know? Like, it shocked the industry with sales, and so did Clair Obscur, you know? And it's like, well,
It's funny because those
how are
are polar opposite game like, the people
right.
who love Clair Obscur would hate Stellar Blade, so that is, like, a funny
Well, and that's the thing,
inversion.
like,
Yeah.
I played Clair Obscur, and I'm like, "These guys are just as horny as Stellar Blade, they just
Yeah,
have a better
it's
way of
more
hiding
subdued
it."
about it. Yeah, they're more
Yeah.
French about it.
They're more
Like
French about it, but I think
yeah,
it's the same level of horny. You're staring at a girl's ass for the 40 hours if you're playing as a girl. Even the
yeah.
guys, you're staring at the
There are also
guy's ass.
several off-screen sex moments, so it's like, this
Yeah,
is also a very horny
yeah.
game, but it's more like yeah, literally, it's more like Western horny
Right.
than Japanese yeah, like, it's truly a culture thing, I think.
Like, when
But
everyone was celebrating, like, Baldur's Gate 3 and, like, the dick slapping on the on the thighs, like,
yeah, I
okay,
was like,
like,
"You guys are the people who hate sexualization, what are you talking?"
but Pyra and Mithra on Xenoblade 2 get, like, this
It's
shitty
too far? Like,
yeah.
yeah.
What are you
It's a
talking
very
about?
I truly think it is, like I might get flack for saying I think it's very strange. I'm a very, like, progressive like, I don't hate anybody or inflict but, like, the people who are very outwardly and outspokenly also very progressive,
Mm.
there's still a weird kinda I see a lot of them online, like, I'm not on social media much anymore, but I would see a lot of them be like have this weird bias and aversion to like they did not like Japanese games and because it was too anime and it was
Mm.
too which is again, Like, that's crazy. You can't that seems crazy to be like, every game from this part of the world is too anime or too like,
Right.
that seems to clash with you being like, "No, I want to be nice to all people and accepting of all things and, like, in different cultures." Is like that seems like a it doesn't seem to mesh, to be like, "Yeah, I believe that all cultures are valid and should be appreciated and blah, blah, blah," like, 'cause I like I do. But then to be like, "Except this one because 'cause they're wearing, like, bikinis," it's kinda fucked.
Yeah.
It's too it's like, "What?
Well,
That doesn't mesh."
to back your argument, that's the problem with Final Fantasy and Square Enix right now is they did push to make it more Western to align with those criticisms. Like, they received those criticisms with Final Fantasy 13, and they're still trying to fight back against that whole, like,
Yeah.
uh, that whole I mean, guys,
That was
Final Fantasy
not the
13,
issue.
lighting is
That was
fucking god. Lighting is god, and,
Lightning
like
rocks. I love
yeah,
lightning.
I know, like, so what if you didn't get to lighting returns? Like, so what if they changed it? I thought it was fine.
I thought lightning
The
was
romance
great.
the music was really good.
It was just really good. Like,
The supporting cast was Snow sucks, Hope is cool,
yeah, I
Vanille
like Hope.
sucks,
I like Hope. Saz is
uh,
great. I love Saz.
Saz is great. Man, now we're
Yeah.
just talking about Final Fantasy 13.
Now we're just talking about Five Nights at
Doo-doo,
Freddy's. It's like,
doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo,
that came on
doo-doo,
when I was
doo-doo,
at the gym today, and it
doo-doo,
fucking rocked. I was like, "Yeah, paradigm shift." Oh,
yeah, paradigm shift, fucking
paradigm shift. You know what?
huge elephant fucking enemy on this
Yeah,
yeah,
falling over, he's
combo,
staggered, he's
combo,
all go.
combo.
I can fucking rocks. I really need to play 13-2 and Lightning Returns because I never did, even though I got them as they came out, and I really want to.
Dude, there's this scene at 13:2 where, where Snow, meets up with Ashley and in one of, like, the story scenes, and it is the fucking strangest they're supposed to be they got married in the first one or whatever, but, it's the strangest fucking, like, romance scene ever written.
That excites me because I
It's
love
so
when
fuck
shit's weird. Yeah,
it's so cringy. It's so like it's
like
I think they give like a
2012
high five or
RPG.
something. I think they give like a
That
they haven't
rocks.
seen each other in fucking years. And
They
fucking
high five.
Ashley's time traveling everywhere and they finally find Snow and he gives her a high five or some shit.
That's incredible. I can't wait for that. That just sold me so much on the game that there's like a
Dude,
weird high five moment. That's great.
yeah. Yeah, it's
Um,
I believe it's that. I believe it's that. But it's
that's
something
ex
of that effect.
I do wanna
Um,
say, before we move on, I have seen the inverse now with Clair Obscur, where
mm,
I'm seeing insane people being like, "Actually, the game's fucking garbage. It was never good. It shouldn't have won any of the awards. All the people who like it are fucking freaks." And I'm like, that is an insane shift within a week.
no.
To go from,
No.
like, me being like, the most annoying people are the people who love this game, even though I also love this game, to being like, the people who hate this game are way worse now. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, so I know, all sides can be annoying, but,
I think it's an amazing game, and I do
yeah,
think
it's
that
excellent.
they deserve all the recognition that they received. I I love their punk rock approach to game development and their pull yourself up by the bootstraps, like, "Hey, we don't have this person, but the internet's big, like,
Yeah,
we're
well, didn't they find
we"
the musician on SoundCloud?
yeah,
That's
stuff like
fucking
that,
an
and
award. That's crazy. That's amazing.
it's an amazing, video game. I just think we need to be critical of it and telling them that that menu design is terrible. Their bonding events are terrible.
You
They're,
team them up with the Persona UI people,
well,
Gucci.
they definitely tried that with the battle system. The battle
Yeah, they
system
do,
is
yeah.
just P5,
Pretty dynamic,
like,
yeah.
that's just, that was just, those g like the side view and everything.
Yeah,
But now it's Clair Obscur, so now anybody that does that, they're gonna say, "Oh, it's Clair Obscur's,"
it's true.
I l I really like about Clair Obscur the stacking. I love their approach to,
Yeah,
like, damage stacking and stuff. I thought that was the c because
that was sick.
you're not only in the rhythm of combat, but you're also strategically planning your next 4 moves and hoping that everything goes your way to make sure you have enough, like, AP to pull off that trick or, like, um, have those a specific character's gauge built. So such a smart game, and so I don't know, it's if you ask me what game of the year is, I would have to choose something more along the lines of, like, a Digimon or a Pipistrello. And only because for me, like, those were adventures, and I think, like, video games, in terms of, like, why I enjoy them, is they send me on an adventure, and
Mm.
and while Clair Obscur did that, I found too many criticisms in its design where it's like, "This is just I mean, you're just wasting my time."
I
Like
think their next game is gonna be fucking insane.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
everything they learned from Claire, like the first one, is gonna lead to it's gonna be like an Empire Strikes Back level like sequel where it's gonna be like
yeah,
their next game's gonna fucking rock. It's gonna be
or it's gonna
insane.
suck, or it's gonna be
That would
terrible
be
because
such a bummer.
yeah,
I
they
would be
have
so
budgets,
upset.
so they all get Bugattis and stuff, they all buy,
Yeah,
like, $1,300 work chairs and stuff
yeah.
with their funding, and then they make it the
Listen, you
worst
guys
game
can
ever.
do all that as long as you still make a fucking great game,
Yeah,
you know? Like, yeah.
I think developers, put constraints on yourselves. Tell yourselves, "Hey, we're not going to use, like, XYZ. We're" like,
Struggle's how you
uh
grow. That is
yeah,
that's yeah,
that's
how it
how
works.
Animal Well is developed. That's how, Blueprints was developed, like
Final Fantasy 1 was developed.
true, yeah.
Struggle's how you grow. Like difficulty and strife is it's how you evolve as a person.
Um, but yeah, I think Game of the Year is so subjective. If I had to choose one that I think is really deserving, fuck. What even came out this year, man?
Dragon Quest 1, 2 is up there. Because what they did with 2 is insane. Like
Yeah,
every time
I
I tried
fin
to play 2, I was like, this is not working for me. And the 2 HD, I couldn't stop. I was like, this is incredible what they've done with this.
No, I agree. I agree. It's a dude, Octopath Traveler 0 is actually really catching on to
Played
me.
an Octopath game. I've never played one. I gotta.
It's the story is stupid
Yeah.
good. Um,
What else can
but
yeah.
but I will say that the story is ripped from the mobile game, so it's like I think mobile game stories are always like because they have more time,
Yeah,
to put
that's
these events out. They're a little more fleshed out, a little more,
it's like a TV
lore
show
I
compared to a movie.
right.
You got a
Right.
lot more
So it's like
time in
140
one.
hours or something like that, the game. But the story is just really making me excited. I don't know. I don't know.
You know what?
I
One
haven't, as you can tell, I have not read my top 5 yet.
yeah, I haven't either. Donkey Kong was this year, that was excellent. Uh, Ed for I couldn't put it better. Couldn't have put it better.
Did
Uh,
you hear my noisy Newsweek intro? I went first news on the prompter here. Horses.
yeah, this the rule that I was like, "Ah, that's good. That's the classic rule."
Nobody said anything in the comments, but I
I
know they
got
heard
it.
it.
I got it. Oh, 100 line. That's a good one this year.
Ooh,
100 line.
yeah, but so niche, dude. The problem with the Game Awards is the people that they have as judges don't play those games. None of them play those games. So they only go by what they see in their algorithm and their little echo chamber Twitter. Oh yeah, this game pretty good. I mean, I saw some people. I saw like 5 people talking about it, so I'll vote yes on this one.
Which is
Dude,
crazy because like Danganronpa was fucking huge for a while. It
play some
blew up. So I'm
yeah,
surprised that yeah.
play some
Um
games. Play some
yeah, play
games.
the 100 line. That's crazy.
And then for I'll say I'll just cap off the Game Awards. Mark and we spent there till a couple more days, and it was fun. We we have planned new animations, new overlays for the website, new stuff coming in 2026, and we're just going to use the next 2 weeks to really like define some cool workflows and some better content that we have planned for next year, and we're excited.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Be a good time. It's gonna be a
Um,
big year coming.
Big year. I think this is the biggest episode we've ever had.
It's a long one. That's a lot. You know what? Anyone who said, "Oh, you guys weren't here last week. You guys were here." There you go.
There
There
you
you
go, DC
damn
Fat
go.
Cat. This one's for
There you
you.
go, there you go, Ozzy. There you
This
go.
one's for you.
Let's see, I'm gonna be scanning, looking for your little VV picture. See what you
Did you
say.
see that I reviewed a hentai game the other day?
No, I didn't.
I haven't in a while, but
It
I
has been a
thought
bit.
it's time. It's time to give the nerds what they
But
want.
they
And as
originally
usual, it's the worst performing video, best
yeah.
performing article.
Well, yeah,
the edit
they don't
for
want their
hint
parents to fucking hear this.
they don't want anyone to walk in
They
on
want
that.
is to hear talking about
Uh,
ejaculate, you know?
I love visual novels, so I mean, they're easy to play for me because I'm just reading. So I love that they do that for me, and I love dissecting hentai games because they're just they're like reviews you don't have to take seriously because they don't take themselves seriously. You know, you're just fucking and but the nuances that go into that are so fun to dissect and so I and I'll say this as someone who I feel like I play it like I don't masturbate to them, but maybe that but I know
I
that
mean, that
that's like the idea,
that's
right?
the second time this the masturbation's come
Right,
up
right.
with you. That's
That's
interesting.
why I hesitated before I brought it up.
Yeah,
But to bring
okay,
it back to
yeah.
masturbation, some would assume that the idea is to masturbate to these.
Yeah, some
But
would think that's the utility of it.
the more that I play them and the more that I've played them over the years, yes, you have your games that are for that. But there are these games like this, A Made of Chocolate 3 that, like, really you got 10 good hours of relationship building, you know?
You
You
know what
got
this
some
is? This is
uh,
reading Playboy for the articles. That's what this
yep,
is right here.
yep.
That's what this
That's
is.
what I and you know what? I did that too. I did that
Interesting.
too.
You went to all the work to steal it from your dad's
Ooh,
closet because you
yeah,
really
yeah,
wanted to see
the comic
their opi
strips, the
yeah, you wanted to see the written write-ups of, like, Broadway shows. You were like, "I
right,
gotta"
right, right,
yeah.
right, right. How to make the perfect cocktail for Friday night.
Yeah, nine-year-old Zario was like, "That could come in handy. That could if I replace this with milk and I replace
Yeah,
this with orange
yeah,
juice,
yeah,
then
yeah.
I should" yeah,
That's my move. That's the move.
hell yeah.
Uh, well, and there's also the other hand that there's nobody reviewing these games in almost a semi-serious matter that like, hey,
Dominate the
someone's gotta do
space.
it.
Yeah, it's
Like,
true.
if I was a Japanese developer in like a little circle, a little
H
um
circle.
yeah, and I got a Western review for my game, be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just like, anything you do. Like, if someone in Japan was like, I love Ace Bonanza," I'd be like, "That's fucking weird, but cool." Like, I think any
Cool.
international recognition would have, like, for anything, people would just be like, "Wow, whatever I did got that far." That's a
Mhm.
benchmark kind of thing, I think.
Well, everyone, next week is Christmas. Spencer,
Oh, yeah,
what do you want for
it is.
Christmas?
Uh, my, I have a quick story about that. My dad accidentally, so I spend a lot of time, while I'm saving up to move out again, I spend a lot of time watching our little 9-month-old puppy 'cause, my parents will have to go do stuff, and he cannot really be by himself too long. And I don't wanna fucking move my PlayStation from here up there every time, but I got games to review and shit. So I was
Yeah.
like, I would really like a PlayStation Portal because then I can just play it up there, and I can get my work done for reviewing shit. I don't have to move all that shit.
No.
But I wanted money towards it because I wasn't gonna be like, "Buy me this $250 thing," because that's crazy. Um, my dad, I got home from the gym one day and he was like, "I have to go to an appointment." I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go shower." And he was like, "Well, first, um, I we're gonna get an Amazon delivery and you have to give them a password." And I was like, "That sounds made up. Like, what are you talking about?" She's like, "No, it's like a high value delivery or whatever. So you have to do that." I was like, "Okay, just copy it and paste it and text me the number and I'll do that." Uh, and he had Android phones his whole life and now he has an Apple and he hates it because he's not used to it. So he was like, "I can't get this fucking thing to copy and paste. Come take a photo of my screen." And I was like,
That's me.
"Okay, I'll come take a photo of your screen." I went up and he held out his phone. It was just the order page, um, including what was in the order, and it was like PlayStation Portal, and I was like, "I think he just showed me,
Santa's fake?
and it's fake.
What?
What's with that?
Fuck you,
What
Dad. Fuck you.
that or you're buying, like, the dog a PlayStation Portal, it's kinda fucked up because that's what I want." Um, but so I was like, "I think you just showed me my gift." He was like, "Well, shouldn't have looked." And I was like,
What the fuck? Wait a wow, now I know what mom has to go through every day.
yeah, I was like, "Well, I gave you several outs for me to not." look. But okay, so I'm getting what I want, and I didn't expect that, so that's very nice.
That's nice. That's really nice.
Yeah, so I'm pretty content. Like anything else is just neat bonus stuff. My sister got me Mario Wonder. She came up early for Christmas because she lives far away, and she and her husband got me Mario Wonder because I never played it, and I'm excited to play
Oh,
that soon.
nice.
Yeah, so that'll be nice.
Nice.
What about you?
I
What do
think
you
I
want?
got what do I want? I don't know.
Other than
Now I
world
want a
peace, because
PlayStation
obviously, like
Portal.
we want world peace, and we want like nil world hunger, and we wanted like
Yeah, yeah,
racism to be
yeah, yeah,
gone
right, right.
forever. Yeah,
Well, anything I want, like, I buy myself, which
that
sucks
is
for
the
my girlfriend.
adulthood crisis.
Yeah, she really struggles with, buying me things. Like, a couple weeks ago, I was like, "Man, I really need a dumbbell set," and then I just bought myself a dumbbell set, and she was like, "I'm glad you told me you were gonna buy that because that's what I would've gotten you for Christmas," and I was like, "Yeah, see, like," but I wouldn't
Yeah.
want her to give me a dumbbell set. I tell her things like, "No, I want you to get me, like I want you to write me a letter," or like, I'm
Oh, what a sweetie.
but I will say that, like, I have to be really aware of my, gift giving because I think I'm so much like my dad to where I use gifts as a way to supplement, uh,
Affection.
like yeah,
Yeah.
I this is how I show I love you, you know, but I don't necessarily need to do that. He
Isn't
did
that
that.
one of
He
the love languages people talk about? Isn't that
yeah,
one of them? Gift giving? Yeah.
yeah, gift giving, and
Maybe that's just your thing.
yeah, but I can get a little too I can get a little I get a little too excited in it. Like, okay, so say if I'm dating, and this has happened for like I'm just dating like a girl for like 4 months, and then I get a phone upgrade, you know, and I don't like selling things, so I give her my old phone
Yeah.
because I got the upgrade, you know. Um, and then like 2 weeks later she stops talking, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like it's
Go
like
too hard too quick.
go too hard. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've had to dial it back. I've
And
again always learning, but yeah, I you can't win people over with gifts. You gotta show up in other ways. So in this relationship, I show up in other ways, but I'm still giving the fucking gifts, and I need
you're getting the best of both worlds.
dude, she's getting fucking
Yeah.
spoiled.
That
a-
rocks.
And I told her I was like, if we have kids, yeah, they're taking all of this from you, so you better
Yeah. Yeah. It's
all of
true.
this is going to them when so you better take
Enjoy it.
advantage of it while you can. But she deserves it. Dude, I will say even for the listeners, my current relationship been together for 3 years and just very supportive for this venture, this Noisy Pixel venture. Um and it's fun. She doesn't give a shit about video games, and that's even better.
It does
I don't
rock.
I don't know this I've dated girls that like video games. It's the fucking worst. Is
It's just
so
people like I was talking to my friend about this recently. Like, I'm trying to make in-person friends again because like all my friends moved away. But the common interest when it's games or anime, most people who like games and anime are a lot. They
yeah,
can't turn it off. Like
no.
we can act cool and like
Yeah.
fit in a setting. And like, God bless if you love video like so much that you can't
Well,
like that's fine, but
I will say
it's
that
yeah,
I will say that it might stem from we live in video games always.
that's
And
true
so
too. Yeah.
and our time to relax, video games are the last thing we want to talk about
Yeah.
when we're for 8 hours almost every day we're just
Yeah,
looking at them.
that's
Plus
true.
we have plus we have plus we have strong opinions on certain things that maybe people only have surface level knowledge
Yeah,
of.
cursory, it's true too.
Right, so when they start bringing up games, I've sometimes sounded like a know-it-all or, like, condescending, you know, and
That is Mardupoid.
yeah,
I've experienced that where every time they're like, "Oh, what have you been playing?" And it's something they've never heard of, and I'm just
yeah,
like, "I swear I play like Ubisoft games too." I don't it's
yeah,
just it's always timing. It's always
yeah.
yeah.
So, I'm like with that said, it's like, sometimes I tell people don't talk about video games with me because, like,
Yeah,
sure, I will, you know, but can we talk about something else? Like,
yeah,
oh, yeah, so really, I will say that dating her is like a vacation away from, like,
Yeah.
what I spend almost 10 hours a day doing, and it's like
You have the dream where you have a game wall with, like,
right.
figures and games, and she doesn't care about games, and she doesn't care
Yeah,
that you have that, so it's
yeah.
there's no, like, "Oh, that's weird." It's just like, "Yeah, that's your thing," and then
Yeah,
that's great.
yeah,
That's the dream.
very supportive, very, she works in social work, so maybe that's
She
she's,
sees you
like,
as like a
very equipped to
yeah.
deal with my my
She's
psychotic,
like,
like
if I touch any of these games, it's gonna be bad, so we're
oh, it
gonna"
was so funny. It was so funny at Game Awards when Mark and I woke up one of the days. So I do this thing where I'll wake up at 6 a.m. and just start
Mhm.
planning, just start fucking planning, dude. Just like, oh, okay, at 8 o'clock, gonna do this. Oh shit, this animation. Oh, I got references right here. Like, so when Victoria wakes up, I say, "Get ready. We got Costco. We got Trader Joe's. We got to go get this desk. We got to go clean." Like I have all these plans already for her, and she's like, "Dude, I just opened my eyes." I was like, "Well,
Yeah,
I've been awake for 2.5 hours. Let's go."
yeah, yeah.
Mark and Mark in our hotel room. I did it. I started doing it to him on like the second night. I was like, okay, so you know how we're talking I was like, "Dude, I've been up for like 2 hours. You know how we're talking about the animations last night? Okay, this is what I drew up, and the light's still
Yeah.
off in this hotel room, dude." And I'm, like, showing him on my phone, and I was like, "You know what, dude? I'm doing this thing that I usually do to Victoria to you, and I'm not gonna do that to you." So
Oh,
I
look at that
stopped. Yeah, I caught
self-realization.
myself.
Yeah,
He laughed, and he went and took a shower, and then we talked about it when we came back. But I have a
there you
tendency to
go.
rise and grind, dude. Like, I am just,
Yeah.
like I'm pretty,
And you say you don't have time management.
yeah. Yeah, you know what though? This year, I've really impressed myself with that. And maybe my go-to of being bad at time management is still on my brain, but looking back at this year and how much I've improved, I do agree with you that I've definitely gotten better. Even last year with this podcast and stuff, for times like I remember last year I would say no to it, and I would just be laying in bed, and I was like, "No, I can't do it today." Even though you asked me like 4 or 5 hours beforehand, I would just be so depressed.
Blah. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
I've been there.
like, my brain is just I don't know, I wouldn't be able to carry on a 10-minute conversation, let alone
Mhm.
20, 30 about video games when my reality is kind of
Yeah,
fucking messed up
100%. Oh,
and
you can
just
go
like
back to episodes earlier this year where I'm like that. Like, in the episode, I'm, like,
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
done. Yeah.
I would say watch any episode last year of Spencer that we've recorded and compare it to how he is, this year. Sorry, my cat and my dog are fighting right here, but,
They're battling.
uh, they,
You can tell when I'm
you're
fucking
a different
depressed.
person, different
Yeah,
person,
100%. Yeah.
and
That's a
so,
fun
like
way to get more views is have everyone do a cool depression watch. Be like, "Oh, Spencer's depressed. 103.
"What's he sad about this
Yeah.
time?"
Examine this guy. What chemical imbalance is causing this one?"
But and sometimes it's hard to, like, switch your brain to, like, "Oh, shit, I need to be critical of this video game, but
Yeah.
fuck, man, my life is, like, so shitty right now."
Yeah. Like, "I don't fucking care about this
Yeah,
game right now. This
yeah.
doesn't fucking matter."
So
And
I'm really impressed with both of us this year then,
yeah,
and
we've
if
had
we if
a lot of things happen and we've pushed through.
I agree, and 2026 is just gonna be so sexy.
It's gonna
I
be a
am
fucking
so
year.
excited. It's I mean, you have some cool changes coming up next month, um, and I can't wait to share that with the readers when it starts up, but,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be a
Even
good
f
year. And I
and
know we say
we
that every year and it gets
yeah,
worse, but this is gonna
yeah.
be a good
This is
year.
the year. This is the
This is the
year.
year.
We're not manifesting, it's
No,
happening.
it's
It's
happening.
already happening. We're gonna hit
Let it be your one.
100K next year. We're gonna hit
That's gonna be
100K
big.
sub sixer. That's it.
Gonna be
Like,
sick. Yeah,
yeah, it's
that's
gonna
a good
happen.
one.
So, prepare for that because the party's gonna be in New York. Anybody in the area, you're invited.
Mhm.
It's gonna be the Penthouse Noisy Pixel Pizza Party.
Wow, that's a lot of peas.
Well, dude, there'll be a lot of PPs in there, you know?
Oh my god. That's gonna be the end of Noisy Pixel because
You know,
it's gonna be a lot of problems.
after an hour, the
Yeah.
jokes get a little dry, guys. You
Yeah,
can't
yeah, I guess we've never
you can't
done this
expect
long before. Give us a fucking break.
you can't expect fire forever.
Yeah.
All right. This is Riley. Oh, it's
Hi,
Riley.
Riley.
All right. Okay. I'll
Welcome,
take you outside
boy.
right now. It's okay.
Welcome, boy.
He looks at me like I have the answers and I don't, man.
You can
It's
only
like,
imagine
dude,
children having the
yeah,
child and having that, like, at least he
I'm as
can't understand that I don't know.
I'm as lost as you are.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks everyone for listening and hanging out with us for this hour. It's been fun. It's been a great year. Any closing remarks, Spencer?
Be nice to each other. Let's enter 2026 being less awful online.
Yeah. We're gonna paint this wagon. We're gonna paint it good.
Good. I know the words. You can tell from the way I say
Later,
that.
nerds.
Bye.
What's up, nerds? Thank you for listening this far. I wanted to plug an interview that I'm attaching to the end of this podcast where I interviewed Tian Smint, senior licensing producer at IO Interactive, about their upcoming game 007 First Light. There's not a lot of gameplay out for this, and they released like 30 minutes at some point, but even at this event, they didn't really show anything. It was more of just a press thing. Pretty disappointed that I didn't get to go hands-on with the game, but it was interesting to be in the room and kind of talk about the game. I'm just going to share the audio with you. The editorial version will be on WizzyPixel, but at least you can listen to it and see how, I don't know, these conversations take place. I honestly think it was a good conversation. That's why I am putting it on the end, so please enjoy. So we're moments away from off of the showcase here. There's some of the reveals of Lenny Kravitz, and I missed her name, but the other voice actress,
Gemma Chan and Mila Jovovich for Hitman, the other.
and how is, without there being much revealed of this game, like, is it easier for you to drip feed these big moments in the game besides revealing too much about the actual gameplay? Is that the plan here? Like, how is it going?
Yeah, I mean, I think with our previous showcase where we revealed a half hour of gameplay, this in itself is a very story driven narrative game. So at its core, it's a third person story driven action adventure game. This means that there's a real story to tell, and that story is very important and something that we want to, keep a little close to our hearts for players so that they can enjoy that the first time. So the gameplay that we revealed, earlier, which was, in my opinion, quite a big chunk of showing kind of like the width and breadth of what the game can offer. At the same time, we want to make sure that we, respect the players and fans by not spoiling too much all at once. And leaving enough excitement and mystery there for you to dive into when you put your hands on the controller yourself.
Is it because it's the case of it being a licensed IP where IO Interactive, your team is Hitman. You have control over when to announce, when to release trailers. There's no oversight above your team because you own the brand. Is it different working with licenses on like this where there is a little more oversight of when to reveal and how to reveal and what to reveal? Is that different for both projects?
I think a distinction, when it comes to IO Interactive, is we are developing and publishing the game ourselves. So in our relationship with our licensors, they trust us very much. They rely on our expertise. IO Interactive brings 25 years of experience. There's a real pedigree of game development and pushing out very highly enjoyable games. So there is a real collaboration and partnership where it is up to us, for what is the from the very beginning, what is the kind of game we want to bring to life, what is the experience, what is the story we want to tell, but also how and when we want to share things with the world. So I don't feel like we are restricted in any way. We have a very good collaboration. And a matter of fact, where they trust us to know what we're doing, and we share, just as any licensor or licensee would share our plans, share everything going into the game, these kind of things, and they're just excited to see it come to life just as much as us.
With Hitman and fans of Agent 47 will know that we've all kind of imagined Agent 47 to be a pseudo James Bond, a 007. That's always been in a player's mindset when as a kid, even for me growing up, that's how I took that experience. And now that experience is coming almost full circle to where you're working on this 007 brand. How do you make these two projects distinct? Is that a challenge as a studio for you? And how do you approach that challenge of making these two different experiences distinct in their own way?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a great question. As I mentioned earlier, we carry behind us 25 years of the agent fantasy experience, and when you really think of it, when you go to the core of the original action spy, well, in my opinion, this done better than James Bond. So when we had our eyes set on being able to work on this IP, we really went at it wholeheartedly, and as the time has told, our licensor agreed that IO Interactive is the studio to bring a sort of game to life, because we know what it is to give you that experience of globe-trotting, hyper realism, places where us mere mortals really cannot go, except if you are within this world of espionage. So those are the strengths that we get to lean on. Our teams back home, level designers, environment artists, all of them are so fantastic, with our narrative team and everything of bringing this worlds to life. So I think that the way the distinction comes in as well is on the character. You're familiar with Agent 47, but he is very much of, almost more of a shell. He can be anything, anyone, but he's very stoic, just gets the job done. Bond, on the other hand, he's charismatic. He's got charm. He's got charisma. He's got a lot of personality with him, and that allows us to lean into that personality. So this means that he has to improvise. He has to think on his feet. He has to move on his feet, and you see that in the gameplay as well. So the gameplay with 007 First Light is much more fast-paced, much more momentum-driven, much more going from one thing to the next. In that gameplay reveal that I mentioned, I really love that action sequence where there's this big shootout, and he's just bouncing from one guy to the next, keeping on moving. Gun on the floor, kick it up, shoot. Okay, bullets run dry. Don't just drop the gun. Use it as a weapon. Close the gap. Run in. Grab the next guy. That is obviously way different from what you expect from Hitman, being slow, methodical, planning, all that kind of thing. So it is a fun and exciting challenge for us, but also a dream come true to be able to bring Bond to life and give that experience to players, so that you ultimately can be Bond your way. Because are you going to stealth? Are you going to use your gadgets? Are you going to use your brains? Are you going to bluff? Are you going to attack? It gives so much opportunity, and it's so exciting.
It sounds like the studio approached the 007 franchise as understanding that Hitman has its audience, but coming to the 007 series, these fans aren't necessarily Hitman fans, but to put that Hitman ego aside and understand that the 007 franchise is bigger than even Hitman, and you and a team approaching that respect with a more approachable almost, but still sounds like to be where challenge can be added where it needs to be, but accessible to fans who maybe are just 007 fans, but maybe not gamers.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great observation, and what I would say is that Bond definitely, what is it, like 60 years of legacy. There is so much source material and inspiration, to draw from. But what is exciting for us is that we really get to tell this reimagined origin story of a young James Bond, and that gives us such a creative vehicle for you to experience this new untold narrative. And go on this journey with him, not just in a sense of narrative progression, but player and character progression as well, so that you're right there alongside him, experiencing this dark, and there's no real dichotomy. Almost as like, just as our name with First Light alludes to, like, shadow and light, and there's the world that he's stepping into, It's a very exciting space for us to explore and for players to go into. And I think in closing, what I would say is, since we are a third-person action adventure story game, it means that for the Bond fans out there, there is enough for you to sink your teeth into and really experience as a Bond fan. But if you are perhaps not familiar, a younger audience perhaps not that familiar with Bond, there's still at the heart of it this action adventure, this exciting journey, this third person, like just bombastic cinematic experience to go through that. Just can't wait for players to get their hands on it.
Well, is it hard to not reveal too much? Is it hard to keep it close to the chest with all the?
I mean, there's so much we are always like bursting to want to share with the world, but you have to give it its you have to give it a moment, give it time, and it'll come.
Really looking forward to it, man.
Thank you for your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Noisy Pixel.